Can you believe that? 1.1 gigabytes of RAM usage in 2022. You don't see that anymore with Windows, but it is possible with the Superlite edition. Judging by the comments on my upgrading to Windows XP video, it seems a lot of you are not impressed with the direction Windows has taken in the last few years with all the services and bloatware that's now added to Windows 11 and is even getting added to Windows 10. But what if I told you there was a way to get a deep-bloated version of Windows? Behold, CoSpectre. This is a custom build of Windows 11. There's also one for Windows 10. This is tailored towards gamers, and you can download it for free. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to install this random ISO from the internet. Hopefully it's not just ransomware in disguise. We will go through the installation process and we'll see what we get in the end. Let's get started. Speaking of custom solutions, this video is sponsored by Crowdsec, an open source tool on GitHub that'll allow you to set up your own custom intrusion prevention system, fully loaded with an agent on Windows. Do check them out using the link in the description. As you can see already, we've got a custom theme here for the installation window. We've actually got a fully functional Explorer prior to booting up. Imagine that. You can't do this with the official distro of Windows. This is actually really cool, so you can look at your data and back it up, I suppose. But we're going to jump directly into the setup. And as you can see, we've got several options for the distro of Windows we want to install. So we can install Windows 11 Pro, which is a compact edition, without Windows Defender entirely. So this is super useful for me because I like to do AV tests and I don't necessarily want Windows Defender on the builds. You can also get compact with Windows Defender. You can also get Superlite, which I believe is even lighter, and you can get Superlite with Windows Defender. So for this video, I'm going to go with Superlite. We'll select the installation disk and off we go. Now it's the usual Windows setup process, but we'll see what we get at the end of it. Don't know how I feel about the whole neo-noir theme. I think it's pretty cool, but it doesn't work well with the setup being in black, so the text isn't that readable. But I like the attempt to look cool and futuristic, I suppose. Now, while it's installing, since this is a security channel, I'm compelled to mention that you have to be careful when you're downloading third-party ISOs from the internet because they could be modified in any way other than what is claimed. So, of course, this is a shrunk-down version of Windows, but someone could also implant their own spyware in it. But then again, Microsoft does that anyway, so doesn't make much difference now, I suppose. But in all seriousness, do this at your own risk. It seems we're loading into Windows 11. Let's see what the setup process looks like. I'm kind of curious because this is usually where Microsoft would ask you to set up a Microsoft account and all the other jazz that people are not really fond of. Neither am I, to be honest. I would much rather prefer a simplified setup process. Let's see if Ghost can do that for us. We're loading into Windows, and this is typically where you would have the setup process, but this is amazing. We have no prompts for setting up a Microsoft account, data collection, all the other jazz that Windows typically forces on you at this stage. We just have the administrator, and all you have to do is set a password, and then you can click finish. Boom. And guess what? It actually forces you to set a password, so in some sense, it's more secure. Now we're loading into Windows. And we're good to go. Can you believe that? That was the fastest Windows 11 setup process I've seen. I have to say, I'm very impressed. Now I guess it's running some scripts for themes. We'll do one more restart and I think we'll be good to go. I saw a prompt there saying shutting down Windows biometrics. That's very useful. But keep in mind though, this may disable some of the features that you use. So for example, if you have a laptop that uses a touch-based login system with Windows Hello, that's not going to work if you disable biometrics. But I'm not gonna lie, I actually really enjoy this. Being able to set up Windows without all the hassle that typically goes into a Windows install these days, where you have 20 different options that you have to turn off, not to mention click 3 or 4 different prompts if you don't want to use a Microsoft account. This is very simplified compared to that. And it seems we're all set up. If we go ahead and open Task Manager, you can see the resource usage. Can you believe that? 1.1 gigabytes of RAM usage in 2022. You don't see that anymore with Windows, but it is possible with the Superlite edition. CPU usage at 0%, 3%, 1%, no background process, modules being installed in the background, Windows Store, all of that stuff. So you are missing some features, obviously, but it is still quite impressive as to how they have restored the experience of basically loading into a very old version of Windows 10 or maybe even Windows 7 on an otherwise normal Windows 11 build. This is probably going to be great for gaming or any kind of performance-intensive task. If you're not a fan of Microsoft services, don't like the whole widgets feature, a Microsoft Outlook account, all of that, this is like as close to the raw operating system of Windows that you can get. You don't even have Edge installed. So you will have to use Terminal to install a browser, but imagine that. You can actually get a version of Windows without Edge even. You've also got the Ghost Toolbox, which you can open using the link on the desktop, and it's going to give you several different options to enable features on Windows or just get an installer for a browser, because you are going to need that. So for example, if we want to install Brave, you can just type in 18 and we're going to select the 64-bit version. It's now installed. Yay, we have a browser. It's got a lot of convenient tools ready to go. So for example, if you wanted to look for drivers, you could try the driver booster software. You can install 7-zip right from here. We're definitely going to need that. And now we have it installed. That's pretty cool. Similarly, say you needed OneDrive on the system, you can just select 26 and I'll install OneDrive. Now I should mention that the Superlite edition is a really trimmed down version of Windows, so I would not recommend everybody to just go ahead and install this because you are going to need to use command prompt. However, as you saw in the actual menu, there is a compact version which retains a lot more functionality and is still very light. So I hope those of you who've been frustrated with Windows lately find this helpful. Maybe it reinvigorates your interest in customizing your system. So please like this video if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends. And now to our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Crowdsec, a free open source intrusion prevention system. The project is on GitHub, so you can check it out today and install it on your favorite Linux box. I've already set it up on Ubuntu and it's super simple and easy to use. Crowdsec allows you to ingest alerts from various sources, parse through the logs, and build your own intrusion detection system. You can set up custom rules, leverage the community blacklist, and automate your entire security process. So if you're an individual or company looking to monitor alerts from various different sources, this is a great tool to do it. You can also deploy an agent on Windows. Once you have it set up, you're going to look at the Crowdsec console. This is going to show you a bird's eye view of all your agent scenarios and alerts. You've also got access to cyber threat intelligence, so this is where you can look up any kind of IP that you like. So I'm just going to paste a malicious IP here, and if we do a search, it's going to give us the confidence level and the various actions associated with it. So as you can see, this one is flagged as a bad actor. The attack details show it's an HTTP scanner and crawler. You can see the reporting period, and you can also make a comment. So it's very much community driven. And while some parts of the project are still in development, still in beta, this is a great time to jump in and start playing around with the tools, getting involved with the project. So check them out, link in the description. Show them some love for supporting the PC Security channel. This is Leo. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay informed, stay secure.